and welcome back to the Tox Lab. I'm Rebecca.
I'm Rob. This week's a very, very special episode. It marks our 50th episode, which is really, really exciting. And, coincidentally, a whole 1 year of the Tox Lab.
I don't think I quite believe that we've been going a whole year.
Yeah, I agree. It's been a journey, hasn't it? I can't believe it's been a year. It doesn't feel like a year.
No, it doesn't.
But I've checked the calendar and it is actually a year. I thought this week we could really have a bit of a reflection on where we've come, where we've been, and maybe have a look at some of the topics we've covered over the last year and see if there's any updates, and then maybe have a look at where we're going in the future.
Before we dive into today's episode, if you want to stay up to date with our content, you can find us on Instagram at _tox_lab. We also have a page on LinkedIn and we're fairly active on there. And for those of you who don't use social media but still want to get in touch with comments about our episodes or episode suggestions, you can email us at thetoxlab@gmail.com.
So where do we start? Should we start right at the start?
I think that's a
How did this all
plan.
begin? I mean, it started off as a vague idea down the pub, didn't it?
Yeah.
2 or 3 drinks in, let's start a podcast. And we sat on that for what, 2 months?
At least, I think, yeah.
Yeah, before we finally decided, let's give it a go. And it just feels like a distant memory, doesn't it? Like huddled, recording on a mobile phone
Yeah.
in your laundry room that was like 35 degrees.
Desperately trying to see if we can make this work.
We weren't even trying. We were just seeing if what we did worked. And it kind of went from there, didn't it? We got the mics, we got an office.
Yes. Lots of learning curves with sound.
So many learning curves with sound.
So many learning curves.
So many editing errors that, I mean, our early episodes, the sound quality is awful. But what you don't see is the number of times I had to learn the lesson, always save your work.
Oh, yeah.
The number of times I was editing and lost what I had done and had to go back and redo it all or try and salvage what we had. And yeah, so that's been a good learning experience, actually. I'm definitely much more confident at editing.
I'm very glad you do the editing because I don't think I've got the patience for it.
That's fair enough.
If you could go back and re-record or redo one of our early episodes, which one would you pick and why?
It's a good question, isn't it? I'm not sure. Definitely some of those earlier episodes, if we were to do them again, I think would be different. But also, because we talk so much about current stuff, actually, things have probably moved on since then, so we'd never redo them, apart from some of our historical ones, maybe.
Yeah.
So maybe Tusco. Should we give Tusco another go?
Could do.
I actually quite enjoyed Tusco.
Tusco was a good one to do. I enjoyed that one.
Is there ever anything you've said that made the final cut that you now regret saying?
Oh, I don't think so. To be honest, if I went and listened back to all of them, there probably is something that I've said that I would want to change, like the wording or the phrasing on, but nothing springs to mind, which I'm going to take as a good thing.
Yeah, I did consider going back actually and having a listen, and I couldn't bring myself to do it.
No.
Have you done the maths? I haven't worked it out, but we're well over 20 hours of content, aren't we?
Easily.
Yeah.
I mean, 50 episodes kind of averaging
20,
25 minutes.
Yeah.
Many hours of
Many
content.
hours. So no, I'm not going to go back and listen to all that. People do. I appreciate the fact that every so often somebody downloads the entire back catalogue. I really like that.
Yeah, one of my friends has caught up and finally listened from beginning up to where we are now, which I'm really grateful. Shout out Tally.
One thing I did say that regret is a strong word, but I get made fun of incessantly about. I'm going to play you the clip.
Okay.
EUDA Drug Report Day. Bit like Christmas, Rebecca.
No. Oh, I forgot about that. That's my favourite. I'm not surprised you get made fun of for that.
It was memed. It was turned into a Winnie the Pooh voice clip. The amount of ribbing I got from my friends for that one comment. I stand by it. I still think EUDA Drug Report Day is a little bit like Christmas, even if you don't.
Yeah.
What were some of the biggest highlights of the last year doing the Tox Lab?
Oh, that's a good question. There are too many, I think, to try and narrow it down.
Top three.
Top three highlights. I think my biggest one has got to be whenever anyone gets in contact or comes up to us at conferences and lets us know that they're really enjoying the content, they're finding it really useful. I think that just highlights why we're doing it and kind of puts it into perspective, because it is quite, I don't know, podcasting can be a little bit lonely sometimes because we're just talking at each other and putting it out there and we don't always know what people think and whether people like the episode or not. So
yeah, that's true, actually. Feedback's really good. I think for me, two big highlights that come to mind. The first was our trip to Nottingham Trent, which was wonderful.
Yes.
To shout out to Muriel and all of her colleagues who invited us up there to talk to the students, literally off the back of finding our podcast on the internet. And that was really, really cool.
And that was back in like the early days where the audio wasn't great and we were still finding our feet. So
yeah,
we definitely appreciate that one.
Definitely. That was really good. And the other one, I think for me, was when we were at that London Toxicology group meeting and we got a random shout out from Laura.
Yep.
Who didn't know who we were and didn't realise that we were sat behind her. That was the moment, I think, where it was like, okay, people are actually listening to this.
Yeah, shout out Paul and Laura.
Any other highlights?
I mean, I think one of my favourite episodes to record was when we slightly selfishly covered our own papers and did our nicotine metabolite episode. I really enjoyed doing that. So that's definitely up there as one of my favourites. What's your favourite episode that we've done?
It's hard to say, actually. Some of our more recent episodes I've really got into. I feel like we're really starting to find our voice a bit.
Yeah.
So the mushroom episode recently, I really, really enjoyed that.
That was really good.
But yeah, it's hard to pick a favourite. I've definitely had episodes that were not my favourite in terms of recording.
Yeah.
But actually, sometimes they come out okay. And you realise that actually, even if it felt like an uphill struggle during the recording, it's actually still not bad.
Yeah, that's what happens when you record after work on a Friday when it's been a very long week.
Yeah, that's true. Completely lacking energy.
Yeah.
Do you still get nervous before recording?
No, I feel all right. I think, what about you?
I'm not sure I was ever nervous.
No, that's just who you are, though. So out of all our episodes, which episode has surprised you the most? So either in terms of the listens and engagement we've got out of it or how different it turned out from the plan you had originally?
Oh, that's a tough question. I don't know if I've got an answer to this one. Was there an episode that the engagement was very surprising?
I mean, there's been episodes that have had lots of listens really quickly that I wasn't necessarily expecting.
Such as?
Clozapine.
Yeah.
That one, I think, got more traction than I initially thought it would.
Yeah, that's fair. What was your favourite intro or banter section?
I quite like the quizzes, to be fair.
Do you?
Yeah, for mushrooms and then our Ozempic episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're quite fun to do.
Oh, we can work on some more of those.
What about you? Have you got a favourite banter section? As the leader of the banter.
I'm glad we've moved past those dad jokes of the early days.
Yeah, they were really, really awkward.
I ran out of ability to write those quite quickly. What compound or case that we've talked about still surprises you and you want to think more and hard about and maybe cover in more detail?
Ooh. I think out of all of them, it would have been the bromism case from our Toxicology Mysteries episode. I think that was really surprising. And just a really weird one, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That was a really strange case, wasn't it? And actually, that whole episode of looking at weird case reports, actually, I did really enjoy that. And we might have to revisit that again, see whether we can find some more unusual cases out there.
I'm sure there's loads.
What's the most unexpected message or feedback we've received? I think we've only received one piece of negative feedback.
Yeah, and that was someone who was listening to, I think, our second episode where the audio was shocking.
Oh, really
quality.
bad. Yeah, really bad.
And that was their main problem with it, was that the audio. I'm like, please listen to our most recent ones. It gets so much better.
The audio quality was bad and also you didn't believe what you said.
Yeah, that was the comment, wasn't it? I mean, anytime anyone reaches out, either like on socials or in the comment section on Spotify, I do a little like happy dance when people enjoy our content and have feedback and things for us. So please keep that coming.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that was a good moment that we haven't mentioned.
What?
Of course, where Peter from the Tox Pod reached out.
Yeah.
And gave us some real encouragement early on.
Yeah, no, that was really, really sweet.
Which I really appreciated. If you haven't already, go and check out the Tox Pod.
So as the editor of the podcast, what's the hardest thing about doing the editing? And which one of us do you have to edit out more?
I think the hardest thing about the editing early on was learning workflow and learning editing. That was the biggest challenge. I had to get lessons from my friend Stephen in how compression works because I just couldn't get my head around it. Now I understand it, I think. Now I've got an established workflow and I've got things set up. It's not as bad as it was. The challenge actually is trying to get like the flow
Yeah.
Because it's remarkable how much space gets left between words in sentences sometimes. But in terms of who I have to edit out the most, the number of ums and ahs I have to edit out from you, overwhelmingly you compared to me.
Is it getting better though?
It
I feel
is
like
getting
it's getting
better.
better. It was really bad in the early days, but I feel like it's definitely not as
No,
bad now.
you're definitely a lot more confident now. It's definitely a lot better, actually.
Good.
All right, I've got some sillier questions.
Okay, go for it.
If they made the Tox Lab the movie, who would play us?
Oh my god. I don't know. I've never thought about who I'd want to play me in a movie. I'm sure you have.
Patrick Stewart, because he's got a great voice.
He does have a good voice, yeah.
And what's the nerdiest thing we've ever said on mic?
I feel like there's too many things to count. Right?
I mean, it is a relatively nerdy podcast.
Yeah. We are properly nerdy.
So we're going to talk a little bit about updates on common themes in a minute. But what themes do you think really define our first year?
I mean, we've covered a lot on like novel opioids. It's definitely a big one. Contaminants in drug supplies. That's been a very big thing with xylazine, medetomidine, BTMPS.
Yeah, I think there's really been three common emerging themes amongst all of the noise, hasn't there? As you say, novel opioids, drug contaminants, chemically modified drugs being sold in places you wouldn't expect them. So, smoke shop, Delta 8 products, mitragynine products. And another theme, I guess, is children eating things they shouldn't.
Yes, yeah, that seems to be a recurring one.
Which is a recurring theme in a lot of the sort of accidental poisonings. Why don't we dive into some stats?
So as of today, we've reached 4,556 streams and downloads across all our episodes.
And we've also had 869 views on YouTube. So that puts us over 5,000.
Woo!
Which is really exciting.
I don't think when we started this, I thought we'd ever reach 5,000 views, listens, streams.
I remember those really early days where we'd have like 8 listens in a week and think that was successful.
Yeah, we used to get so excited. And then when we hit like 50 listens a week, it was like the best thing ever.
What's our demographics?
So across all podcasting platforms, we are currently being listened to in 57 different countries around the world.
That's exciting.
Top ones are obviously the UK, the US, Chile, Australia, Canada. We've also got listeners in Thailand, in Pakistan, in Albania.
It's amazing, isn't it? Just how much reach there is. And we did have one surprising statistic, didn't we? That for a brief week, for some reason, we were top 15 science podcast in Finland.
Yeah, that got us excited for a little bit, didn't it?
I don't quite know how that happened, but quite nice to have broken into the top 20 science podcasts. So shout out to our listeners in Finland.
Yeah, across Spotify, we're currently being followed by 241 people. On Apple Podcasts, we have 83 followers. So if you aren't following, but are listening regularly, please hit that follow button. We'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be really good. And if you are following, share us with your friends. Let's get word out there. Let's get this bigger. So why don't we have a look at some of those themes and see if there's any updates? Because there's a few things where there's been some developments on the subject, but probably not enough to justify a full episode. Where should we start? Nitazines, I guess, and novel opioids. Really, really big theme that's occurred over the last 12 months. The latest I've seen on this is that they're still around. They're still here. They seem to move around the world. So Australia seems to be particularly affected at the moment. And the US seems to be seeing a few cases. They certainly don't appear to be going away, although China has now enacted a generic ban. So maybe we will see some shifts. But that was a few months ago now, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they've not
really gone away. Other novel opioids are still around as well. I saw carfentanil back in the news again. I don't think we've really talked about carfentanil because it hasn't been too high on our radar, but that is one we could maybe talk about in the future as a drug that seems to disappear and reappear.
Yeah. And there's been a lot of chatter about orphines
Yeah.
as well. So maybe they'll be up and coming and take over nitazines.
We'll do an
Maybe
episode on orphines very soon.
So we covered bromazlam back at the very beginning in episode 4, which I think would be the one episode I'd want to re-record purely because of the audio quality on that episode. And since recording that, on the 3rd of December 2024, bromazlam was added to Schedule 4 of the Convention of Psychotropic Substances 1971. And since then, in our casework at least, we've seen a bit of a drop-off in bromazlam. I don't know whether anyone else is seeing the same sort of trend. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on whether you're also not seeing bromazlam as much and what other novel benzos are kind of filling that gap in the market.
Yeah, we don't really seem to have seen any one novel benzo take its place to quite the same degree that bromazlam had. Bromazlam was so prevalent.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of chatter about possibly ethyl bromazlam filling that gap, but I've not really seen that happen yet, so it's definitely a space to watch out for.
Yeah, definitely. Ketamine was a big one, and that's sort of been an emerging, up-and-coming theme, hasn't it? We've talked about that a few times. Again, not going away. There was recent call for evidence from the ACMD, and our colleagues at MP-Sum have also recently published an update, haven't they, looking at deaths associated with ketamine in the UK. And there has been a bit of a change in demographics, hasn't there? We can put a little link in the paper below, but really it does look like there have been some trends and some changes more towards a polydrug use picture, which is actually another emerging trend that we've talked a lot about on this podcast, isn't it? Polydrug use. People who use a lot of different drugs at the same time. I'm not sure where ketamine is going to go over these next 12 months. I know they are talking about reclassification. I guess all we can do is watch this space and see what happens.
Yeah, methanol was another topic we covered back in the early days, specifically around the methanol poisonings happening in Laos. And currently, Brazil seems to be experiencing a methanol poisoning crisis. And according to CNN, as of the 8th of October this year, Brazil's health ministry has logged 259 suspected cases of methanol poisoning nationwide and 5 confirmed deaths as a result.
Yeah, I mean, that's another subject that actually never really goes away, does it? It made the headlines back when we covered it, but it seems that it is a trend that continues on a regular basis. Probably one of our more surprising episodes that we covered, and there's been some updates on now, is the slushies and the glycerol.
All the way back in January, episode 12.
Episode 12, we covered slushy poisonings. And again, I think some more updated guidance has come out, pushing the recommended age for slushies even higher now.
Yes, on the 19th of June, the Food Standards Agency here in the UK announced guidance that glycerol-containing slush ice drinks are not suitable for children under the age of 7.
Well, that makes me really sad, because that is the prime age where you enjoy slushies, and once you become a grown-up...
the appeal kind of goes.
Definitely, yeah. So why don't we move towards now looking at the future? What is the future of the Tox Lab? Well, we've got a few exciting things coming up, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've got some potential international partnerships, which I'm not going to say too much on, but I'm excited about. We might have possibly a semi-permanent recording studio.
Yes, fingers crossed.
In the near future, which is really, really exciting. And as it stands, I've got no shortage of things we want to talk about.
No, the list just keeps growing and growing and growing.
So, yeah, I'm excited for the future, definitely. What sort of topics do you think you'd like to cover in the future?
I quite like the idea of covering a little bit more, not loads, but a little bit more tox true crime stuff like we did with Harold Chipman. I really enjoyed doing that episode and planning that one out, so a sprinkling of that in the future would be quite nice.
We can definitely do some of that. Yeah, we can definitely do some of that. I think the feedback we've had generally is that people like it when we do new stuff that's current and cutting edge. So in general, I think that will be our trend, won't it, towards current research, upcoming data. And sometimes we can't predict what's going to get published, can we? You know, the number of times we've seen a paper come out and go, oh, that's interesting, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I'd like to have a good look at cannabis properly.
Yes.
I think there's a lot to talk about there.
But yeah, to you guys who are listening, if you have topics that you want us to cover, weird cases you've seen in your work, and you'd like us to deep dive on that topic, please keep the suggestions coming. So feel free to send them to our email, which is thetoxlab@gmail.com or message us or comment on any of our platforms.
Yeah, definitely. If there is stuff out there that isn't on our radar, but it is on yours, and you want us to have a chat about, we would really appreciate the contact. And we just love chatting to our people as well, don't we? We love chatting to fans.
It's great.
So, yeah, definitely do get in touch. We're hoping we might have some guests on the show in the future as well.
Yes.
I've definitely got 2 or 3 people I'd like to get on to have a chat about their areas, because I think it'd be really good, actually, to get a few different voices on and get some different thoughts. So that would be really good.
And there might possibly be an opportunity for you guys to get your hands on some very special Tox Lab merch.
Well, I think we're going to wrap up our birthday episode here. I want to give you all absolutely massive thank you for listening to us. We really appreciate the feedback that you give us. If you've enjoyed listening today, over the last year, do consider sharing amongst your network. We've got a really, really big following amongst toxicologists, which is brilliant. But I think there's wider appeal. And I think if you can share it with people who might be interested, but maybe don't quite work in the field, I think that would be really, really good, because we'd really like to reach as many people who will be interested as possible. But yeah, massive thank you all for listening. We really appreciate the fact that we're still here a year later.
Yeah, we wouldn't be here without you guys.
100%. Yeah, 100%. We're still smiling. We're still enjoying it.
Yeah.
And it's thanks to you. So yeah, thank you very much.
I'd really love if you could take a couple of minutes just to drop your favourite episodes that we've done the last year in the comments, because I'd just really love to see what is the most popular, and then we can help target future episodes to what you guys like. Hope you all have an amazing week, and we'll see you next time. Bye.